Hi Capricorn, here's your horoscope overview for 2024, brought to you by planetswithin.com. I am astrologer Joseph Anthony. All right, we have a big year ahead of us. This is because the outer planets are going to make some major changes and are going to make some interesting aspects to your ruler, Saturn. For instance, Jupiter will be changing signs this year. It'll start off the new year in the sign of Taurus, which is very favorable for you guys. It's going through your fifth house of love, creativity, speculation, endeavors, children. And so you'll start off the new year pretty optimistic, especially since the Sun and Venus and Mars will be also going into Capricorn as well. So the first part of the year looks pretty optimistic for many of you. So take advantage of the opportunities that are coming your way to reinvent yourself and to have more fun. As the year unfolds, and I will go over some of the charts with that, we have the outer planets that are going to really change things up a bit, especially Uranus and Taurus in the fifth house. But we have Pluto also making a change again, going into Aquarius in your second house of income and value. So there's going to be a lot of changes in that area, which I'll talk about as well. But overall, the eclipses also are indicating a new way of thinking, a new direction, new friendships, getting rid of old friendships, and just overall trying to change up the dynamics of the people in our lives. And that's what's being shown by the eclipses, and I'll go over those charts as well. So let's get in a little closer and see what this year looks like. So as we start off the new year, as on the very first day of the year, Jupiter goes direct in Taurus. And so Jupiter has to do with expansion and doing things on a larger scale and being more optimistic. So it's in Taurus, another earth sign. So things related to money, values, being fixated, materialistic, being more sensual, these are all things that get amplified while Jupiter is in Taurus, and it's going through your fifth house. So wanting more affection, more love and attention, spending more time with children, or wanting to be around them more in some way, you know, helping them, guiding them, whatever that is in your personal life. If it's not children, then it has to do with projects and endeavors and work that you've been focused on. And so this is going to help you with creativity. You know, the fifth house has a lot to do with creativity. So you'll find yourself the first 5 months of the year being very creative when it comes to work matters. At the same time, enjoying the quality of life as you go about your life. But on the 25th, Jupiter enters Gemini. And this changes the dynamics completely because Jupiter in Gemini is everything here that I've outlined, all these key words over here. It's a very curious alignment. It could be very generous, but it could also be very fidgety, quick-witted, you know, just jumpy all over the place, trying to handle 29 things at once. And not that you can't handle them, but you might overwhelm your mind at times because it's going to be in the sixth house of service and health. And so anytime we have a lot of energy in that sixth house, we get all nervous anxiety and stress at times, and we tend to worry a lot more when we have a very strong sixth house. So Jupiter entering Gemini is going to bring in a lot of nervous energy to your work environment, your daily routine, and you know, you need to pay more attention to your health at this time. So this is going to be very important for many of you. Saturn, your ruler, will continue to make its way through Pisces, which is very beneficial because Saturn does work very well in Pisces. Pisces has imagination, it's very spiritual, it's very mystical, it's very intuitive, and Saturn is not. And so it basically, this energy works very well together. In other words, brings whatever the imagination of Pisces into this reality, and it's something that you guys could deal with. And so this reading is for anyone who has a Capricorn rising or has a sun sign in Capricorn. And so this is going to continue to make its way through your third house of communication. So you find yourself leaning towards mysticism or religion or something spiritual in some way most of this year. And so this is listening to your intuition is very important this entire year because of Saturn going through Pisces. We have Uranus also making its way direct on January the 27th, and this has a lot to do with that fifth house again. because it's joined up with Jupiter. And these two will meet up in April. Jupiter will conjunct Uranus. Now, Uranus is the sign that does things out of the ordinary, does not like doing the same traditional things over and over again. As you've noticed, since 2018, things have changed with the financial markets, how people have acted. Your own belief systems have been changing. And so this will continue all the way through April 2026. And so with this kind of energy in the fifth house, it's like, I want to be different. I'm going to be different. I'm going to try and not do the same thing over and over again that I've traditionally been doing. And that's what this kind of energy is bringing in here with Uranus going direct. And I would say take advantage of the energy the first 7 months of 2024 in the creative endeavors because of it moving direct. I believe it does go retrograde in August. So that's when it slows down and we start going within again. So it's always better to have a planet going direct than not so going direct. But the big news is Pluto going into Aquarius once again. And this is the sign of humanity. This is the sign of electricity. This is the sign of community. And Pluto is the great destroyer. And so this represents a transformation. And this will go on January the 20th and 21st. Pluto enters the sign of Aquarius once again. And all of these key words here are associated with the innovation between Pluto and Aquarius. So it's about being more compassionate or understanding things at a very technical level. But it's going through your second house of income and values. So these are areas that are going to be transformed right before your eyes. Things having to do with investments, having to do with money matters. If you've been following me a while, you know that I've been talking about a new financial system, or several financial systems are trying to emerge. Between digital currency, crypto, all kinds of cryptocurrencies, real currency backed by gold and silver. These are all the things that are trying to emerge. So for many of you, you're going to see a lot of changes in this area, a lot of innovation in technology, which is something that I'm sure that you guys don't mind embracing. So we'll continue to see that. But here is the overall chart for the beginning of the year on January the 1st. So you can see here the sun is making its way through Capricorn in your first house of identity and self. This is your time of the year. So you're feeling more optimistic. You're feeling more charged up. And Pluto is making its way out of your sign, finally. And I'll cover Pluto in a little bit because it will dip back into 29 degrees for a short period of time and then finally completely leave your sign in November. So we see planets here in the 12th house, which is about spirituality. They're in Sagittarius. Mercury comes out of retrograde on the 1st. So the clarity is starting to return. Saturn here in the 3rd house of communication is helping you a lot with what you want to plan for the next year ahead. And there's Jupiter going direct in the 5th house. So spending time with children, creative projects, creative endeavors, these are all going to be on the table as we begin the new year. But on the 27th, Uranus wakes up right there, stationary position, going direct, again in the 5th house. So things related to children, things related to your job, creative endeavors, business, anything to do with that are going to be on the forefront, especially since the planets now, these planets have switched into your sign. Venus, Mercury, and Mars are all in the 1st house. And so this is absolutely you wanting to take more control of your destiny and your family dynamics, your job, your projects, whatever you got on the table. You seem to be overwhelming yourself with a lot of stuff going on here just in the first month of the year. And so Pluto has now entered, as you can see here, Aquarius in the 2nd house. And this could be sudden revelations, sudden changes, sudden awarenesses, financially or investment-wise. I've been talking about this for a while, how we have some really weird stuff going on in the financial world where they're trying to create a new currency, hopefully backed by precious metals or something of value. And so we're seeing this battle being played out. And of course, we'll continue to see the political nonsense all around the world, especially in the United States, because the United States has a moon in Aquarius. So this is going to be very beneficial for you guys. So you're on top of the world here, moving forward with plans and ideas, and you're feeling really positive about things. So take advantage of that energy the first month. Here are some dates that you need to jot down or take a screenshot of this. And here are the major trends that I see here that we need to focus on. And so here we have January the 20th, Pluto enters Aquarius, very important. That's that 2nd house. And then this one, April the 20th, Jupiter conjuncts Uranus in Taurus. And that is could be surprises with a child, surprise expenditures, money coming in, maybe you win a lottery, anything related to that on April the 20th. Another positive aspect on May the 23rd, Jupiter sextiles Neptune. Jupiter will be in Taurus and it'll sextile Neptune in the third house of communication. So very important communications to be had here between you and maybe a loved one. And then on the 25th, Jupiter enters Gemini in that sixth house of health, work, and service to others. So this is going to be very important. There's another positive alignment here on June the 2nd, Jupiter trine Pluto. Now, Jupiter has gone into Gemini in your sixth house, and it trines Pluto in your second house. So this could be an opportunity for advancement or money-making opportunity or something maybe on a positive level that comes in for you guys to focus on. Now, the second half of the year looks a little weird and wonky, and that's why I said take advantage of the energy the first 7 months of the year. Because in August, we have the first Jupiter square Saturn. Saturn is your ruler. And Jupiter will be in Gemini, and it'll square Saturn in your third house of communication. So here we find a very uncomfortable situation having to do with either health matters or work-related matters that you're going to have to kind of work through. Now, this could be something related to governments and the policies and what's happening at the world at this time. It may not be you directly, so we have to keep an eye on that because there's going to be 2 of these. As you can see, here's one here and then one in December at the end of the year. And so this is like the beginning of some sort of change energetically or societally, and that we're all dealing with, especially as we go into September. Pluto retrogrades back into Capricorn at the last degree of Capricorn. It'll be at 29 degrees. It'll stay there at 29 degrees, which really takes on the characteristics of both signs. So it'll take on Capricorn and Aquarius at the same time. And so the energy is, you're questioning your sense of purpose and direction. You're questioning what's going on in the world. You're questioning your job, your sense of purpose. All of this stuff is on the table when we retrograde back into Capricorn. But on November the 19th, finally, Pluto will leave Capricorn permanently and enter Aquarius for the next 20 years. And that is in that second house of income and value. So it's going to be huge. But towards the end of the year, there is definitely some weird energy slowing us down, especially with Mars going retrograde in Leo. That's the first one that is going to be, acting very strange. And I said in my 2024 overview video that in the fall of 2024, we have some really weird, wonky energy coming in that we may be all affected by. So it could be related to that, or it could be economic situations that have slowed down. There could be something to do with world leaders that are in trouble or are assassinated or something along those lines where it really gets a hold of us in some level. And the December 24th, the last Jupiter square Saturn. This is a heavy energy of change, and it's from Jupiter to Saturn in the third. So communication seems to be very weird and very dark at this time towards the end of the year. Again, this is just an overview of what I'm seeing energy-wise, and please don't take it personally like you're the only one going through it. This energy is affecting everyone, and all these alignments affect everyone depending on where it is in their charts. So this is some really weird energy the second half of 2024. So do whatever you have to do in the first 7 months of 2024. Here are the eclipses that we need to focus on, and they are extremely important because they indicate opportunities. Solar eclipses are opportunities and doorways that open. Lunar eclipses are doorways that close or finish up. And so here we see the first one, March the 25th in Libra. And I will cover that. I have charts for each one of these eclipses, so I'll cover what that means. Here is the big one of the year, the total solar eclipse in Aries, and that's going to be huge. Many of you may be moving or thinking about moving or changing jobs or something along those lines with this eclipse. And then this eclipse here, the partial lunar eclipse in Pisces, has something to do with thinking and worrying and concern because that last quarter of the year, there's really some weird energy at work that we'll have to be dealing with. And then, of course, October the 2nd, we have another solar eclipse in Libra, which should bring in new possibilities, new people, new situations that we could, see a better situation coming about with that energy. So let's look at the charts. Here is March 25th, the lunar eclipse in Libra, right here in the career sector. So this could be a change to career. This could be a change to a partnership. This could be something that is going on with communication in your family dynamics, because the 4th house represents family and the sun is there and it's opposing the moon and the in the 10th house of career. So there could be some very interesting conversations that you're having with your family about something. And so it could be a decision to move. There could be a decision for a change in a relationship status. And there's also the outside, very slight possibility, outside possibility of having something to do with a health matter, a concern over someone's well-being, mentally well-being or physical well-being, because of all these planets here in Pisces. So this is definitely going to be a doorway that closes. But at the same time, a few weeks later, the solar eclipse in Aries is a doorway that opens, and it's going to be at 19 degrees of Aries. So wherever this is in your actual birth chart, that's the area that gets lit up. But for the most part, it is very strong energy coming in that 4th house. So this could be buying a house, a move, remodeling, maybe having another child if you're of childbearing years. This is going to open up a doorway for all of that to occur. And so this is going to be setting the trend for the whole year ahead, where you'll be focusing on your home life, and all of that. So I say focus on your attention on that. The lunar eclipse in Pisces, this one on the 17th, this one's going to be a very heavy one because it's going to be at 25 degrees of Pisces, which will be conjunct Neptune right there in the 3rd house of communication. So something is taking place at this time with your thinking or some sort of family dynamic, and you're not sure about what's going on. Again, it could be something outside of your control, such as governments, financial matters, some sort of weird stuff going on with the economy and the world at that time. But it'll also be squaring here Jupiter in Gemini in the 6th house. Could have something to do with health matters, health regulations, maybe lockdowns. Who knows? I hope not. But this is definitely a heavy energy that's coming in that will affect you. So pay attention to this, especially from, I say, August on, about what's going on in the world. I mean, the real news, not the nonsense on TV, and see what's going on at this time, because it may indirectly affect you. Now, the solar eclipse in Libra on the 2nd opens up a new doorway for possibilities here. Relationships, partnerships, business partnerships, advancements in career, raises, all of this stuff is being highlighted with this solar eclipse in Libra in the 10th house of status. So I'm seeing a lot more opportunity coming your way in October here to make a difference, to connect with others, to be a part of a group or an organization and wanting to help. That's what I'm seeing here. So this could be very beneficial. Here are the Mercury retrogrades for the year. We want to pay attention to these because they're always very important. The first one is not going to be as powerful because it'll start off the new year going in direct motion in Sagittarius in that 12th house of spirituality. So many of you will be focusing on your sense of purpose. Okay, where am I going? What do I need to do this year? And I need to pull myself together and get going. And so that's going to start off the new year. But the second one here, on April the 1st, Mercury turns direct in Aries. Now, that is a strong one because there's a lot to do with the family. It has a lot to do with real estate matters. It has a lot to do with your stability. And so this is going to be very important because there's eclipses on either side of this Mercury retrograde. So you might find it a little bit confusing, but at the same time, you're like, I have to move forward with this. I have to do this. And so this is going to be one where, you're going to see what occurs that needs to be taken care of. The August 5th one is in Virgo, another earth sign like yours. This has to do with direction, sense of purpose, looking towards the future. And of course, anytime we have a retrograde in Virgo, there's always a tendency to over-worry more. Virgo is the worrier of the zodiac. And so there could be some large concerns over direction and where you want to go. And again, this has something to do with the second half of the year where there's some really strange, wonky energy coming in. And so again, it could be societal, not just personal. November the 25th, we have Mercury turning retrograde in Sagittarius again in that 12th house of endings, completions, spirituality. And so towards the end of the year, you're really contemplating everything that's occurred in your life this year. And you're starting to discover things that you never thought you knew. and revisiting things from the past. So this is all going to be very important towards the end of the year. Now, these are the key dates that I want you guys to jot down or take a screenshot of this, because these are the most significant events that are occurring throughout the year. The red indicates the severity. These are very strong indicators of and time frames that you want to pay attention to. Like January 21st, the Sun conjunct Pluto. That is in your second house of income. There could be some surprises or surprise expenditures having to do with this one. Then again on the 14th, when Mars conjuncts Pluto, this could be very explosive, unpredictable energy. This could be societal as well, but it has to do with your second house of income and values. So there could be some issues there. March the 3rd, Mars this time squares Uranus. And so this energy is very strong, very unpredictable. We're talking about, as you can see here, just in the first 3 months of the year, very explosive energy between Mars and Uranus taking place. And then again in April, we have these three here. And there's that April 20th alignment with Jupiter conjuncting Uranus in Taurus, which has to do with the 5th house. So there could be issues relating to family dynamics, money matters, children, projects that you're working on that are really throwing you for a loop. And then again, on May the 13th, the Sun conjuncts Uranus in Taurus. Again, could be some major surprises. So just in the first 5 months of the year, we could see issues related to finances, sudden surprises, possibly moving or changing residence, dealing with family dynamics, and of course, surprises having to do with money matters, maybe relating to children or something new coming into your life or a new person coming into your life. Here are the rest of the alignments, and as you can see here, the second half of the year, very strange energy coming in. That's why they're all highlighted in red. July the 15th, Mars conjunct Uranus in Taurus. Once again, that 5th house is being lit up, and this is again very explosive energy. And then this is the 19th, that first of two Jupiter square Saturns that we need to pay attention to, because Saturn is involved there. That's your ruler. And so this has a lot to do with partnerships and relationships at work and your thinking and communication. Pluto goes back into Capricorn on the 1st. This is now sort of a review period where you start questioning everything in your life. And then this is a heavy energy coming in September, this lunar eclipse, because it's going to be so closely aligned to Neptune. There is a very weird, heavy dynamic energy coming in September that we'll all have to be dealing with. But fortunately, in October, the energy starts to loosen up or lighten up a bit with the solar eclipse in Libra, connecting with other people on our level. New groups, organizations, maybe even a new company, a new job, all of that stuff. And then Pluto goes direct on the 11th, again to help. And then finally, November the 19th, Pluto leaves Capricorn for good for the next 20 years and goes into Aquarius. And then at the end of the year, we have this slowdown again with this energy. Mars goes retrograde and Jupiter squares Saturn for the last time. So we're ending the year on kind of a quiet, solemn note. It's kind of a weird energy. Do the best you can the first 7 months of this year, and then the second part of the year towards the end, it really looks like a weird energy coming in. That doesn't mean you don't do anything. You just pay attention to the energy and pay attention to what's going on and adjust accordingly. So anyway, to get you through it, this is what I do. I remind myself every single day who I really am. I'm not my body. I am not my mind. I am not my titles. I am not my things. I'm a spiritual being and of the light, the source, whatever name you want to give it. I call it source. That's where we come from. We come from the light. We come from the source. And the more you remind yourself of this, the more you stay heart-centered and you realize this on a regular basis, everything that happens in your life becomes more significant. You appreciate it. You start to realize it's all good. And, you do the best you can. And so this is part of, the awakening process. And of course, if you like this video, please subscribe, like, and share, and follow me on social media. I'll do my best throughout the year to keep you guys informed. And, have a great year, Capricorn, and make it a good one. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.